Model Making Guru is sponsored by emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome.
Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here. Hello, and welcome to the next exciting issue of Star Wars, it's gone wrong already, look, coffee. Oh. Let's start again. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here. Welcome to the next exciting issue of DeAgostini's Star Wars Build Your Own X-Wing video partwork series. Yes, it's issue 55. I don't know which episode this is. We've lost track of which one's which. This is issue 55. And of course, we're still working on that wing. Port, starboard, upper, lower, rear, front, aft, ventral wing. We've got the internal bits again that you're never going to see once it's been built. And also more tubes and pipes that go on the outside. I like doing those bits. So that's the bits we get with this issue. But of course, first thing we need to do is take a look at the magazine in Gefalten. Now it starts off with even more information about the TIE fighters in the First Order and the Force Awakens. Not the First Order, that's the group, not the film, Fox. You're talking more coffee, hang on. I really am tired today. So we're still talking about TIE fighters in the Force Awakens. They managed to get more material out of these than they have all the other Star Wars stuff in all the magazines before. It's quite impressive. So more information about these. And how it works inside, filming on the physical set, lots of little background information bits. There is quite a wealth of information here. I know I keep ribbing it gently, but it does quite a wealth of information here. I do like the outfit for the TIE Fighter pilots. It's got this kind of 1970s look to it. This padded suit underneath has a kind of 1970s vibe, which I really appreciate. Then we have an interesting bit here. It's information about Jack Tonno Porkins. Yeah, Porkins in the New Hope. I didn't know. This is information I didn't know. I knew his name and stuff, but I'll read this out to you. I don't really take a lot of time to read stuff in the magazine because you need to subscribe and read it yourself. But it says here, Jek's helmet bore the yellow Alliance starbird that had been the symbol of the Yellow Aces. Nicknamed Piggy by other pilots and techs at Tierfon, the name followed him to Yavin 4. Porkins didn't mind, and Wedge Antilles, who had flown with Jek, explained that there was nothing derogatory about the name, which was viewed as a badge of honour. Apparently. Then we have more information. I do like Porkins though. When I built my Lego X-Wing many years ago, you had a choice of like Luke or Porkins. Of course I made it as Porkins. But now we have a little bit of information about the X-Wing. Another nice beauty shot here. And I'm still not sure what this CGI render is from. Whether this is like the CGI render they did before they made this kit, or whether it's from one of the movies. I don't know where this CGI render's come from. It doesn't quite match what we're building, so I don't really know. It's interesting though. It says, whether flying in space or in a planetary atmosphere, the X-Wing used a reaction control system rather than aerodynamic surfaces on its wings, because its wings are just square. That's why it didn't have aerodynamic surfaces. Thrust could be diverted forward or backwards through any of the engine's 8 outlets, enabling a skilled pilot to position the craft with great precision. And anybody that complains about the square wings on Orc planes or Space Wolves, Storm Wolves in 40k, just remember the square profile of these wings is exactly the same. And then of course we have the buildy bits, which we shall crack on with momentarily. We've got another one. Have I missed ones in the previous issues here? Am I missing out the last page? I do apologise if I've not been reading all these out. We have the Fusible Thrust Engine. It says the 4L4 Fusible Thrust Engine was developed by the Incom Corporation for use on the T-65B X-Wing starfighters. Incom's earlier craft had used a variety of different technologies. For example, the Z-95 Headhunter starfighter was equipped with 4 2A fission engines. There you go. No idea what any of that means. And then on the back, we have a nice picture of a First Order TIE Fighter pilot. Okay, so in issue 55, we're basically building the interior of one of the engines, or half the interior, and then we've got all those little doodads to stick on the outside. Now, one little important note, and I've told you this before, when you get these little blister packs, do be careful when you get bits out. They tend to have like a two-piece shape. There's sometimes tape holding them together, but not always. But just be careful Firstly, when you take them apart, sometimes all the bits ping out and it goes and you lose your little tiny pieces. But also, when you get the bits, have yourself a little container and just get the bits out on the desk like that. One bit there. A small shallow container will be better, really. Just put them somewhere you're not going to lose them. But there's a very important thing you need to do. Apart from checking there's none lying around, the last thing you need to do is just double check the packing, the blister, and make sure there's no little pieces and components left in there, because static cling means that sometimes the little bits of plastic end up stuck in here and they won't come out, and you'll be like, where's my greeble gone? And you should do the same when you have loose greebles in a bag. Just check the bag to make sure there's nothing in the corner of the bag somewhere. If ever you have a piece missing, it's probably in one of these, or it's in the corner of the bag that all the bits came in, so just keep an eye on that. So what we're doing at the moment, what we need to do first is we need to take this part of the fishing chamber, and this the curvy bit here needs to go on the top, and this needs to sit like this into these two holes here. Now this is another one of those things that's really, really snappity in the last three engines, and in this one goes together perfectly. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on, you know, because every time I built one of these so far, it's been like, can't get it in, and one of them I had to glue in place, but for some reason they're now behaving. They must have changed something, I don't know. But it's all looking great and fantastic now, so everything fits perfectly. It's making me out to be a fool. I don't know. Anyway, this now needs to go into here. So, I have a sneeze building up. Hang on. Sorry for the sudden jump cut there. The sneeze meant I had to stop recording because it would have messed up the audio track. So, yes. Anyway, let's crack on. So, we've got to put this bit in here, and it quite simply goes in this way. Peg, hole, hole, peg. Kind of really straightforward, really, except that's the wrong way around. Is it the wrong way around? Which way am I? Which way is this? Yes, that is the right way around. I think it was. Yes, there we go. Having this brain moment then, as I usually am want to do. So that just sits in there. Not the tightest fit in the world, especially when you've not got it in correctly. You spoon. Where's the peg and the hole? There we go. That's it. That's in properly. That is a super tight fit now. So yes, that bit you're never going to see it again. So there's no point gluing. I had to glue that in for one of them because when I did the first engine, I think I sort of snapped the little tab off, and I didn't know exactly how it was going to work and how it was going to fit. So I glued it in place. But after that, I didn't bother because you're never going to see that. But yeah, it's weird how everything's fitting together beautifully now, even though it didn't before. I don't know. Other three engines, they've improved something. It's obviously going a lot better. Now, it is time for some greebles. And every time they do one of these, they've done this differently. This like telling you which bit goes where. They've at least had they've kind of varied it up each time, which is interesting. But we have a list here, so let us get out these greebles. We have part. And this is where we've got to be careful not to knock the magazine now. Yes. So we have part H. Part. I'll just line the parts up on the magazine. It's not very interesting for you guys to watch. It's worth doing it for these bits because these little straight pieces are actually different. That one there is that one. This one is that one. Be better if they did them life size, but doesn't really matter. That one is there. You have to make sure you line them up properly. This one is that one. That one's there. That's landing gear off a... I'm going to say that's off like a Heinkel or something. Landing gear off a Heinkel or a Lancaster, perhaps. On the real studio model that used all the kit parts. And this one is there. So there you go. I'm going to try not to knock that now. Right, so we need to apply these, except the problem is now they're on the other page. Sadness. Okay, let's just turn that over. Right, so there's all the bits. Be careful with them, don't lose any bits. We'll get this little tiny one done first because seriously it's gonna do my head in if I don't do it now. So this bit goes there, on there like that. I'm going to put my lenses on so I can see. Apologies if they get in the way. This bit sits on here like that, those two holes. Like there, to see. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now there is a bit of a nub there, which I hadn't noticed. So I've got a sanding sponge. I'm just going to very gently sand that, just to clean that up. Doesn't matter if you're making a mess of the paintwork, I don't care, I'm going to be painting over it. But there's a little bit of flash or like nub on the end of that, so just quick clean up there. What have we got next? Next we have this part here. which goes there. Now these shouldn't need to be glued in place because they are all fairly tight fitting. That goes there. We've got the landing gear piece that goes like, I'm just following instructions here now. Yeah, they do kind of change it up each time, and each time it gets better, and they kind of make it more understandable, which is excellent. That's in, that's never going to come off. Next we have, now this is where it gets interesting, we've got part C, which is this one here. You need to make sure you get the right one. The wrong one obviously wouldn't fit. Now C has 3 bars here like that, so you need to make sure it's that one and not, if I can pick it up, that one, which doesn't look the same at all, or that one, which has many little bars. So it's just this one. So this one's part C. And this needs to go, where does this need to go? It needs to go here, with the curvy bit going around the edge. You can see there's 3 holes. Now these can be quite tricky because the holes aren't, they're like that direction. They're not like this, they're like that. And if you don't get it in exactly the right orientation, they may be a tricky job to get them in. But don't, like I said before on the other episode, don't stress things, don't push it too much. I'm just going backwards and pressing a little bit on each stick, each rod, and just gently pressing it in one by one. Like when we put the screws in and we tension them over the whole piece, I'm doing it a little bit at a time, rather than just push one in all the way and then it's stressed then because the other 2 are sticking out in the middle of nowhere. Just do them one by one, a little bit at a time, push it in, slowly, slowly. If you need to, use, like I've done before, something firm but rubbery like the handle of this pliers, just to push it in. It's rubbery so it's not going to damage anything, but it's got a metal interior so it's nice and firm. And there you go, that's in. Lovely jubbly. Next we have the other one from the other side, which is that one. You can match up the holes. 2, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1. So same again. Remember, it's almost like a handrail when you first put it in. It's not going like that. You're not doing it 90 degrees like that. That won't go in. You'll end up forcing it and snapping it. Do it straight down like that. It's a I don't know what you call it, an angled recess. So I'm just going to push it in slowly, no effort at all at this point, and then just gently. Oh, look at that nub there. Oh no, is it a nub? Oh no, it's a bit of the design. I'm waffling. Oh, shut up. God, I just don't waffle, do I? It's quite stressful, you know. I've not, like I said in the other episode, I've not done a live to camera filming piece before for a long time. I tend to record what I'm doing, and then I just do voiceover. So it's a while since I've done live to camera, and it's weird because it makes your brain do twice as many thinkings, and then you fall over. There's a bit of a nub there. Let's clean that up. Rough edge on that. Rough edge on that there. We'll just clean that a little bit. Sand it away. Yeah, so your brain's doing twice as much thinking. It's got to do talking and doing the building at the same time, and your brain just kind of, my brain just kind of goes, what? Right, next bit we have this one here. This little puppy goes in here. So you've got a little stick there. That goes there. That lines up. You can see where they line up with the holes. Almost line up with the holes. This one you have to kind of push it a bit because the hole's there. It doesn't quite line up. You have to be brave and just snap it into place. There you go. Don't force them. They do stick out a little tiny bit, and that one is a little bit loose. So I'm going to put a touch of glue in there just to lock that in place. Just a tiny amount. Just to lock it in place so it doesn't come out. I don't want it popping out and getting snapped or anything like that. So we'll just give that one a touch. Tiny touch of glue. There you go. That's enough to just lock it down. I don't want it getting caught in transit when it's being moved and snapping it. Then we have the straight piece, which goes in here like this, but you have to be careful. It shows 2 holes above it, so it's not these 2 holes, it's those 2 holes, and it needs to be with all the little lumpy bits at this end. There like that, and there like that. I've moved the camera around, and I always apologise that I'm probably off camera all the time. I'm rubbish, I really am. Now this one can be tricky to get in the holes. There we go, that's in. There we go. Lovely, that one's fairly firm. I don't need to glue that one. When we have this wiggly one, that just sits in there like that. These top ones are just straight down because the holes aren't at a funny angle. Except this one is a little bit of a funny angle. There we go. That one is in. Push it in gently. Push it in gently again. Don't do it all at once in one. I'm going to glue that top bits because they are a little tiny bit loose. Just a touch on each of the pegged ones. Just a tiny amount. You don't need to go crazy. And again, as I've said in previous episodes, I don't care that it's messing up the paint job, because we're going to paint it over anyway. We're going to repaint this anyway. Done that U-shaped bit, and the last piece, of course, is this big boy here, which just fell into place. Now, the tricky bit with this one, these bits are fairly straightforward, apart from this bit here, which can be tricky. There we go, it's in. They're a very tight fit, but the tricky one here are these ones. These two at the end. You have to be careful with these, because these, they do go in at that funny like 90-degree that way angle. But they feel like they're not going in, but they are. So just go gently with those and press them in as you go along, and work your way along. Balance out the pressure. I see that one there doesn't seem to want to go in. It will do if you convince it correctly. There we go. There was one here. There's something here not popped in properly that was keeping that one from going up. So that is now on. That's not going to come off. Yes, if ever one of these is sticking up, just make sure all the others are in place, because that one was sticking up there and we're stopping that bending down. So there we go. That's never going to come off. And that is that bit done. And that completes this issue. So that is issue 55. We are done. So next up is issue 56, and that'll be next week. We'll start that. I think, if I'm planning this correctly, today should be Friday. I think if it works. So today should be Friday. So on Monday we'll crack on with issue 56. So thank you very much for watching. As always, if you'd like to help support this channel, please consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or if you want to, you can become a channel member by pressing the little join button that's underneath any one of my videos or live streams. I did all that while I was setting all this up. I was quite impressed there. You can do that, and you can support this channel directly. You can keep it alive and ensure that I can keep making content, because I depend on my patrons and my channel members to keep this channel alive. So big thank you to them. Don't forget, of course, link for this part work is in the description below the video if you want to subscribe and get yourself this big 1/18 scale X-Wing. I do have to thank DeAgostini, of course, for providing this. A disclaimer, I'm not paying for this. I am being provided this kit free of charge by DeAgostini because they're awesome. So big thank you to them. Disclaimer, I have to say that just to make sure that it's all transparent. But big thank you to them for providing this. I will be back on Monday with another one with issue 56. Until then, have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoebas.